2.0 post combine. I'm odds, Austin's evens. So I guess we could kick this off. No trades, by the way. And yeah, I'm on the clock. So with the Titans, because we're doing no trades, I can envision a situation where they don't trade, especially if they evaluate the quarterbacks and they got their guy. Never know if you're going to pick one again. You're hoping not to pick one again. And I personally think they're going to trade down to 3 potentially. The GM that was in love with Cam Ward, they just fired. They didn't give him a very long time. But it kind of feels like, look, if we got rid of this GM that wanted Cam Ward, did they get another GM that also likes Cam Ward? Or is he true to what he said about a generational talent and they really meant like an Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter? They're fine with either. They trade down to 3, still able to get their guy. And it could be smoke, but when you have the number 1 overall pick, you might as well field your options. And this a good way to field your options is to be like, yo, we want a generational, we're not taking away from the quarterbacks, but we're going to explore all options. And now, your phone's filled up with all the teams trying to get to number 1. And it seems like there's a lot of suitors. But in this case, we're just going to go with Cam Ward here. Could be the savior for the franchise. Will Levis, not the guy. What's his name? Brian Callahan didn't seem very happy with him. Didn't really give him a shot towards the end of the season when all was lost. So, Cam Ward.
Yeah. I mean, everything that I've heard and listened to in regards to the Browns, they're basically hell-bent on was that word we talked about it, or not overcompensating, or maybe it is overcompensating, but overcorrecting. They're in the business of overcorrecting this year, and that starts at the quarterback position. Like, apparently they feel as if their team is in position to compete. The only thing is their bad luck at quarterback. That's up for a whole nother day, trying to face Cleveland. But I will say they're one of the more talented teams to be up here at pick number 2. Unfortunately, it was a year where apparently this isn't a strong quarterback draft, blah, 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 blah. But, for them, they can't really concern themselves with that. Ideally, they probably wanted to select Cam Ward with their first, with the second overall pick, with their first pick in the draft, but he's not there. And I think they just, like I said, they're overcorrecting. So I think they just go with the second best quarterback that's available in the draft right now. And they select Shedeur Sanders at number 2 overall. He's a quarterback. I know right now he's catching a lot of flack. Apparently he's not even going to be in the first round, but I'm sorry. I'm going to have to physically see him drop out the first round before I believe that he's not going to be selected in the first round, regardless of how people might feel about him. So, yeah, I think this is the pick right here. Right now, it's just a whole lot of smoke screen going on in regards to how people feel about him. But, at the end of the day, there's been a bunch of quarterbacks selected number 2 or in the first round that weren't projected to be top 5 quarterbacks ever. But the coach fell in love with them. The coach liked them. And any given Sunday, they're anywhere between the top 12 to 16 quarterbacks. You can win with that. Not trying to throw no shade or nothing, because I know you're a big fan of him. But one of the guys that I listen to and watch, he says that he reminds him of Geno Smith. And not the Geno Smith that came out back in the day, but the Geno Smith today. And depending on who you're speaking with, that's shade. But if you talk to people that's actually watched Geno Smith play, it's like, that's not really shade. He has games where he throws for 354 yards and 3 touchdowns. But then there's games where, his O-line doesn't protect him, and it's a rough night. But
again, I mean, if he could be a Geno Smith coming into the league versus Geno Smith having to develop and whatnot, I mean, that's a W.
But that's what I'm saying. Depends on who you speak to. That's shit. If you don't call people God or Pat Mahomes, it's like, oh, you think he's something. It's like, nah, bro. Like, Geno Smith has made good money in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, it took him a long time to get here, but nonetheless, right now, that's a decent quarterback. So, I definitely see that on film with him. He doesn't have the best arm, but at the end of the day, like even I agree with what he said. He's like, yo, I went to Jackson State. They said it wouldn't work out here. It worked out. Left it better than I found it. He went to Colorado. Said it wouldn't work out here. He worked out there. Left it better than he found it. So I don't see why he can't go to Cleveland and then not work out for him there, and he leave Cleveland better than he found Cleveland.
Nah, I feel that. And you could also say the same for Cam Ward and his journey through college. So it's fun. It's funny seeing them kind of go back and forth, that playful banter. I don't think we've seen anything like that in a draft process before, where they're boys and it's like a sitcom or something, but football sitcom.
I read about Cam Ward's first transfer to WSU like 3-4 years, like I guess 3.5 years back now. And I guess last year, like in 2023, I tweeted about Cam Ward being a dog. And like earlier in November, someone retweeted that tweet. And I was like, dang, I forgot that I even said this about Buddy. But yeah, like, you always, yeah, but it's just like, I always seen it with Cam, especially like reading his story.
What year was that? What year was that where you tweeted that and it just got retweeted?
2023.
2023.
Retweeted it in 2023. Yeah, he was still at Wazoo. He was still at Washington State, but I knew he was nice, and I was looking forward to watching him play. And then, because they were saying that he might be a mid-round pick, so I would always watch his games and shit. But then when he was getting ready to enter the draft, and instead of entering the draft, obviously he got cheese to go to Miami, and I mean that worked for all sides. So that was pretty cool. He deserves it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I think they're both going to be pretty good in the league. Hopefully they're in the same conference so we can see them go back and forth on the football field in the pros. But so as a Giants fan, this is like worst case scenario. This is why the Giants rumored to try to trade up to that one spot, both the quarterbacks, 1 and 2. And we've been hearing a lot about how none of them are, if it was a different draft, they wouldn't go in the top 5, whatever. That's cool and all, but we were hearing Bo Nix was a second-round quarterback last year. He went 12. So these quarterbacks always go higher than you think they might. And, this is a really realistic start of the draft, these first 2 picks. But I've always said with pick number 3, I think we're in a good spot because we could get a guy like Travis Hunter. If this were to be the case, we weren't able to trade up. What?
No, I'm just saying, obviously it sucks for this coaching staff or whatever, but the Giants fan, I mean, you might have Travis Hunter's probably going to be very useful for the next 5 to 7 years, if not longer. So
and when it comes to Travis too, in terms of like our team needs. We need another receiver, and we could definitely use another corner. So, and I personally think he'll be able to play both ways. What people aren't factoring in, I know people think like, oh, there's no way he's going to be able to play on both sides of the ball, but this is a different guy. Like he's built different. We haven't seen the amount of snaps that he was able to do on both sides of the ball.
And he won't play those many snaps.
Exactly.
Y'all will probably pick his primary position, and then there'll be a package or something along the lines of that for him to.
So this is what I'm envisioning with him. For most teams, I think what's going to happen is he's going to be primarily a corner, and then he's going to come in, play the slot. Now, slot receivers are not playing all the snaps as like a true X receiver.
I don't know if he plays slot for you guys.
Not for us because of Wandell.
No, bro. I think Malik is in that move guy for you guys, and then you know what I mean. You put Travis on the outside, just what I'm saying. Because he can run. It's not like he's not like Wandell is like 5'9" or whatever. You know what I mean? And he might not be your ideal.
He's like 5'8".
5'8", okay, yeah, and he might not be your ideal outside wide receiver, but nonetheless, he's still 6'1", 6'2", and that's the same size as Jay Jettis. So it's like that it can get done. And I just think that you guys, you're gonna keep Malik in that move position, in that pepper targeted wide receiver for you guys that works the inside, works the outside, wherever y'all need him to be at that day. And I think Travis comes in and just gives him a boost where it's like, all right, well, we got one-on-one, you know what I mean? It helps Malik get one-on-one, or what I'm saying, Travis Hunter's getting one-on-one, and they got the safety working inside to help contain Malik. Right there, boom. You got Travis Hunter on the second best cornerback on the team, or you got Malik on the second or third best cornerback on the team with inside safety help. So either way, there's options for the quarterback to do some work with those guys.
Yeah, I'm kind of annoyed that there's not like a switch off where I could see his snaps right here on offense. It's just showing me corner where, he was in the slide a bit. But, but either way, we come out.
Go to the analysis to see if they got anything on him in there.
Let's see. I guess they didn't get to it yet. Now here's a guy. But yeah, either way, Travis Hunter, blue chip player. Colorado gets a lot of hate. So you got a lot of people repeating this, jack of all trades, master none bullshit. You're not watching this kid play. His instincts are too elite, paired with the athleticism, paired with the fact that he eats, lives, drinks football. I think he's going to be elite on both sides. I think he has the potential to do it. So we get out with Travis Hunter, and then I saw Rich Eisen say today that we made a serious push for Matt Stafford. So I think they're just preparing for the worst, as in worst being, we weren't able to get one of these top two guys, but we have a contingency plan. Maybe we get somebody in the second or third.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just due to the fact that free agency happens before the draft, I think you're going to the veteran quarterback is going to be on your team regardless of who it is before it even gets to this point. But then you probably just got to assess the situation from there. So, but whatever, we'll keep pushing.
Yeah. So you're up. Patriots forward.
All right. So Patriots at 4. This is honestly, people think I'm I don't know. I know everybody's a genius. Oh, no quarterbacks, blah, 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 blah. But this is actually where I can see the first pick I could see Ashton Jeanty going. I could actually see him going at 4. However, I don't think that Abdul Carter, I think that, right now the medicals look a little scary on him and his foot and the surgery he's choosing not to get. But, I've always kind of told you that if Micah, who he gets compared to, was in that draft, he would have probably went 4. He should have went 4. Here, Abdul Carter, I think he just due to the fact that he's so good at football, and I think the Patriots have probably the third most cap space in the NFL right now. I think they'll take care of the offensive line for Drake May, and they go ahead and they select one of the best pass rushers in the draft, Abdul Carter, and hope that he changes their franchise on that side of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be crazy if it wouldn't be crazy if he went right here, but this would be a steal for the Patriots. I mean, they're in a position where they should just get best player available. There's holes all over the roster. Obviously, you want to protect. What?
They already got a QB, so it's we're playing with house. We're good. Yeah. That's what I mean. So it's like realistically, I mean, I don't think it will happen, but realistically, I could see Ashton Jeanty
Bro, stop it with that, bro. That'd be the goofiest pick ever.
Hey, it would be, but
it'd be so goofy because Ramondre's straight, and then it's a deep running back class. You gonna pass up on? I mean, let's say Abdul Carter wasn't there. There's
Jeanty,
3, 4,
is
5.
As much as I'm against running backs and shit, but doing my work on Jeanty, it's this is kind of nutty. This is crazy. We'll probably get on him eventually, but yeah.
All right. Well, I'm at 5 with the Jags. Now with the Jags, I'm thinking trenches with them, and I'm gonna go ahead and give them Mason Graham. Now from the combine, I'm thinking about Will Campbell and how his stock fell a little bit, but yeah, pair Mason Graham with what they got going on that D line, Josh Hines, Allen. By the way, with Josh Allen, do you think he added the hyphen just to not be like confused with the quarterback?
No, he said something. It had something to do with his family.
Oh,
He did say, yeah, but the thing. So I was on the Jaguars website doing my research on how they were feeling, and a lot of people close to that organization don't think that Mason Graham would be the pick due to the fact that they did just select a D lineman in last year's draft with their second round pick. And they just feel like they might go a different direction there. I don't think it'd be Will Campbell though. Also, but I
don't think it'll be Will Campbell either. I don't think it'll be Will Campbell.
So that's just something
you'll see. Depending on what you do, you'll see. Like if you don't take tackle first, you'll see who I got going to tackle first.
Right,
the first tackle off the board.
So right here, I've kind of had my feet in the sand with this one since like the beginning. Ever since I started assessing the draft and hearing and reading about how people feel about the amount of talent, blue chip talent that's in this draft. At number 6, I think Pete Carroll, a guy who has a history of winning Super Bowls on the back of a tight running game. Strong offensive line, which, some people think that the Raiders already have. I think right here is a pick between a wide receiver and, Shadir, if he's still on the board, which I don't believe he will be. And also, I think Ashton Jeanty. I think right here is where the draft shakes up and gets a little weird. And Oakland Raiders select Ashton Jeanty with the 6th pick in the NFL draft. And, the reason why is basically because, can you go to Ashton Jeanty's real quick?
Yeah.
He has some stuff I've never have seen that before. He had over 1,900 yards after contact. Like when you watch that on film, it's the most bizarre thing you've ever seen in your life. Like Bijan's film, I always say, like, yo, he one of the prettiest running back, prettiest runners running the ball. Jamar Gibbs, they go crazy. Like their film looks like crazy. Like it's so entertaining. This dude, as a running back, is like, how the heck did he get out of that? He hit him. They went head up with each other. There's 3 people that tackled him, and he's spinning up out of that. And it's just kind of like, what's the name? Cam Scatterbo has a lot of yards after contact. It's not a season's worth of yards, of running back yards. And I just think that Jeanty is such a talent, and it's not necessarily about Jeanty's talent. I think it's due to the lack of talent in the draft at positions that we quote unquote consider more important than running back, that the Raiders decide, we drafted on the orthodox. We're getting Brock Bowers. That kind of paid off for us. Offensive line is pretty solid. I'm sure they have second most, and it's like by a lot, salary cap. So I'm sure they'll figure out something with the quarterback position. Probably not the most ideal situation, but they'll have a guy back there, and they'll probably take a shot. They're willing to take a shot on Milroe or Dart with their second round pick. I think they go Jeanty here, and then they try to take shots at the quarterback position later in the draft. And again, one of the only reasons why I will also say that is because this is Pete Carroll, and he did this before, where he signed Matt Flynn, drafted Russell Wilson, and the rest was history. And that was with a stud running back, beast mode, Marshawn Lynch, who also was a first-round running back. I think might even been drafted 6th overall by the Buffalo Bills.
And they both have dreads, for what that's worth.
Right. So I just think this is an easy sell and a weak draft class. for Ashton Genty here at this spot. Again, I know everyone's like, "Oh, you don't draft the running back." This, I get it, but I crunched the numbers on this, and as much as I wouldn't want my team to do it, I think that they don't even get a shot to. Like I mean, I really like he it's crazy if he's able to break tackles like that in the NFL, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the talent that he has, if Bijan could go 8, I have no issue with him going here at 6. And then
Go ahead.
And then with Marshawn Lynch, I was just bringing it up. He went 12.
Oh, he went 12. Dang. Okay, I knew it was 6 or 12, but I thought 12 was too far back. The funny thing with that Bijan Robinson draft is that they decided to pass on Bijan draft. Who was it? Tyree Wilson. I want to say it was Tyree. So they drafted an edge rusher with all the measurables, and he was a boomer bust player, and that motherfucker can't get on the field. So, I think when you talk to a certain franchise like that did it the right way or the popular way, where it was like, oh, well, you guys said devalue this position and shoot for the stars with a boomer bust pass rusher, and it didn't work. Like their team would have, you know what I'm saying, whether we care or not, whether that's the right decision or wrong decision, their team would be a better football team if they had Bijan Robinson over David Tyree.
And that's a great example of, look, just because you have a need, you don't overdraft that need just because it's a need. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it's like, don't get cute. Like they not you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason, they probably wanted to draft Jalen Carter, but they felt like they couldn't because of his background and what they were dealing with Henry Ruggs.
Henry Ruggs, yeah, that would have been that was a major discussion. Like, they should probably go him, but do y'all really want to, you guys have back-to-back situations, legal situations. So, yeah, I feel that. Number 7 with the Jets. Jets are in an interesting situation. Aaron Glenn, he laid the hammer down, that law hammer. Like, yo, this is what we want going on with our quarterback. You're not with it. All right, deuces. Devontae Adams getting ready to get traded. He
might be released.
He might be released?
Yeah.
Sheesh. Well, with this pick, I think Tyler Warren. I know you didn't want them to get your boy Brock Bowers last year, but I think they load up on offense for whatever quarterback that they're going to bring in, and they seem like they always have to replenish their weapons. They get a do-it-all guy here, real athlete. Kind of reminds me a little bit of George Kittle. Maybe shades of TJ Hawkinson.
I wish some teams didn't have. I wish they didn't.
Why are you so against the Jets getting
because I don't want them to ruin. I don't want them to ruin good players' careers. I just wish the Jets didn't get the draft. Go somewhere. We'll send you over your players. I don't like. I just it's not because I don't like Tyler Warren. It's actually because I like him. And it's I don't know if they're gonna be able to do what you need to do to exploit this man's talent. I just don't trust teams like the Jets with this. But I don't hate the pick. I just wish it wasn't the Jets. I just don't trade this junk. Get out of the round, bro. Get into somebody else.
Yo, it's a new regime with New York. Aaron Glenn, former Jet, he's about to make some changes happen.
Yeah, I know, and I hope so. Again, I like him as much as I like Brock Bowers. I really just, with tight ends, man, I just really always want them to go to a good situation, because we know what happens if they don't. We know what happens, and the player gets shit on for it. So
you're talking about Kyle Pitts?
Yeah, but Eric Ebron, you know what I mean? Even Noah Fant, we can go down for years of tight ends that are selected in the first round because they had measurables that kind of compared to Gronk, or people thought, oh, well, he can do what Gronk does. And it's nah, he can't do what Gronk does because he don't got Tom Brady back there. And, the offensive coordinators that were working for New England.
You can make that argument for my team when we drafted Evan Ingram in the first.
Yeah. And he was one of the original jokers, the original big slot tight end wide receiver guy. It is just kind of he ended up having a good career, even kind of with y'all. He did pretty well. And then now over here with the Jaguars is probably where he had his most yards. But, yeah, it just takes so long for them to get going. And the sucky thing is,
Not anymore. They've been kind of jumping off the map early.
well, I mean, I guess, but I'm just saying, from the the on average over the past few years, historically, it takes like even Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is probably going to be on his second team and a fine tight end, and he's only going to be like 25 years old. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm still not drafting him in fantasy until he's not a Falcon. Then I'll draft him. Then that's when my stock will rise on him.
Yeah, but I guess it's my pick. So here, with on the clock with Carolina, I think due to the fact that they had to trade Brian Burns last year, and then Frankie Louvu, who had an amazing year with Washington, was gone, and basically their entire defense outside of Xavier Woods was just interchangeable pieces. I think they definitely aim defense here, and they go to the defensive line. Can I pull that up for me real quick? Go to the edge for me real fast.
Okay.
Yeah, edge. Yeah, and I think here is where go down. I think this is where Mikael Williams ends up going. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a team. You're not getting past the entire draft without teams trying to go for these guys that are uber athletic, and that's what he is. He's a uber athletic edge who can play linebacker. He can play, you know what I mean? He can play on the defensive end, on the edge, and to move as well as he moves at 265, like, someone's going to take that risk. And I think Carolina right here in this position is the team that goes ahead and goes. Is this the first defensive player we picked or the second?
Nah, this
third,
is third
or fourth.
Okay. Mason Graham.
Yeah.
All right, so Mikael Williams goes Saints. The way you feel about the Jets is how I be feeling about the Saints, bro. And
deservedly so.